She's laughing. What if I told you that the reason you keep choosing unavailable people or running from the ones who are actually good has nothing to do with your choices, nothing to do with your patterns, your picker, or your past? What if, oh my goodness, we have the giggles today.
Gonna have to leave the room. Okay. It's not funny.
I was just thinking about this before we came on. Hold on. What if it's your nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do?
What I was just doing right now.
Keep you safe from the kind of love and never learn to trust. So today, our guest is a trauma-informed coach who's actually going to, I probably agree with what we're doing right now is a good way to regulate. But she coaches she's cracked the code on this. She did it for herself, and now she's doing it for women everywhere. Welcome back.
Welcome to the Passion to Payday podcast.
We are your hosts, Becky Sampson and
Heather Laughter.
This is where stories turn into strategy and passion turns into profit.
Every episode, you'll hear how everyday women build real income doing what they love, and how you can too.
Turn your passions into paydays. Welcome to the show. Oh my gosh. Well, this is what happens when we get together. And literally, and our sweet little guest, she thinks it's hilarious, and she just barely met us. But I'm telling you that, we were just talking actually while that commercial was going, is that divorce can be a really, really heavy,
hard, terrible time.
And it doesn't mean that we want to be at all insensitive about going through that. But I think sometimes, and we've been through a lot of trauma in our own personal lives. And so it's kind of funny that we just let go of that.
Well, and I think that our guest today would probably agree that, you know what, life is too short, and we need to get back to being happy again. And I believe that she has maybe a little bit of information and secret sauce that might help you do that.
I know. So this is welcome to the show, by the way. Payday, Passion to Payday. I'm Becky Sampson and
Heather Laughter.
You know what? I didn't even change our names on there either because we're in studio together. So I better change that while we're on the show.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, who cares? And if somebody cares,
we don't care.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And that's our phrase. We were at the bank yesterday when we're planning for this webinar that we have. I got it. And there was this guy outside of the bank that was like this old farmer guy.
Yeah,
right?
big old farmer dude. Yeah.
I just parked halfway, into that. I'm like, honey, who cares? And if anybody does care, who cares?
He had no idea what to do with that. Yeah. Just none whatsoever.
Yeah. So we don't usually riff this much.
No.
But I just want you to know that look, it's Friday. It's Aloha Friday. That's what's going on.
Aloha Friday. Plus we stay up all night, every night, trying to work on getting amazing content for you guys.
And to help coaches get out there and do their passion, which we're really grateful for.
And find the happy again.
Yeah.
Life gets to be fun and easy.
Yes. So take it away.
Put my glasses on so I can read it. Our guest today works with the woman everyone thinks has it all together because she was that woman. Rochelle Thompson is the CEO of Uniquely Power LLC. Empower. Let me say that again. Uniquely Empower LLC, and a trauma-informed coach who specializes in helping high-functioning post-divorce women heal the relationship trauma that therapy alone missed so they can stop running from the very love they deserve. She developed the Renew method from her own healing journey, and today she helps women regulate their nervous systems, rebuild self-trust, and finally feel safe and healthy relationships, not just understand why they haven't. Rochelle, welcome to Passion to Payday.
Finally, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me both. I am enjoying this.
I would apologize, but you know what? It's what it's about. And I bet that you are totally in on that.
Well, and I thank you so much for, first of all, your patience with us today. Second of all, thank you for doing the work that you do, because I know how important it is, especially having been somebody that's been divorced twice. I know the trauma that people go through, and I hope that they can get to the point where they can laugh about it. And I know that it doesn't feel that way when you're in the middle of it. And so kind of what we like to start these podcasts with is tell us kind of the backstory, because I know that people when they're younger don't think, hey, I want to be a divorce coach. It usually comes through some kind of pain. So tell us the backstory. Yeah. Tell us why you're passionate about helping and serving people that you do in the divorce space.
Okay. So starting way back, I am a nurse practitioner. So I've been doing that for about 18 years. So I've always had the passion to help people. That's just been my thing. I got divorced 4 years ago now. The relationship was, I was young when I got married. I had a kid out of wedlock. I mean, the whole thing, right? And I was just young and dumb and ignored all the red flags, whatnot.
Which, by the way, welcome to the club.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And so divorced a couple of years ago, just a lot of emotional trauma, mental trauma, all the things. And, I'm just trying to make it through, starting all over again. How I'm going to do this. I was the breadwinner in the relationship, so I knew that was not going to work out for me financially.
Wow.
And I thought, I'm going to get through this. I'm just going to keep getting up every day and doing what I do. But I was that professional woman, so I had to put on that
face, the mask,
work, and like my life was just great. Where really on the inside, you're just like spinning out for real. And so, I got to that point in divorce where it's like financially, like I had to do something, right? Like I had to figure it out, because it's just me supporting my, at that time I had 2 of my daughters at home with me. And that kind of led me to the online space. Initially I kind of started like affiliate marketing and stuff. And I'm like, bro, this is not me. Like this is not it for me. But on my healing journey, I did go to therapy, and my therapist was amazing. She helped me see a lot of different patterns, but I still felt stuck. Just couldn't get there. And that's when I found like the somatic trauma healing. So I worked with a healing coach and went to a little convention with her. It was life-changing.
Amazing.
Just life-changing. And that's really what I needed to get past that hump, to really learn how to regulate my nervous system, how to let go of the anxiety, the stress, all the things that come with that. And as I was talking to her, I'm like, I have this online business. I'm a nurse. Like, I really like this. And I'm not kidding you, that day, something about nurse coaching came up, like on my social media or something. And I'm like, it's a sign.
I've never even, by the way, we've been in the industry for a long time, and I've never heard of a nurse coach.
Oh, yes. My husband is a nurse.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. And so I get it. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
So specifically for trauma, is that what your niche is?
Yeah. So my niche, I am certified as a nurse coach. Basically it's just putting nursing together with coaching. You just kind of have that life experience, right? And then that healthcare background. But my niche specifically is like that post-divorce women, that professional. You're trying to hold it all together. But you need an outlet. You need someone to talk to, someone who understands. You don't want to just run at the mouth to someone who's like, we have to hear about this again kind of thing.
Right.
But then really looking in and like, what are those triggers? What happened to me? How do I fix that? How do I get over it? How do I release it and move forward?
That is awesome. I love hearing that. I know in the healthcare industry, you see a lot of the effects of the stress and the anxiety and the trauma on the body, health-wise. And it's mind-boggling to me. Well, I guess that's kind of interesting to say, but how people don't connect. Like a lot of the healthcare professionals, even therapists don't always connect, and they're like, well, take this medication and that medication. And I so thank you for what you're doing. I think it's so needed. And I also think that not everybody thinks about having relationship issues as being traumatic.
Right.
And it can be extremely traumatic. And so naming it is huge. And I just commend you for doing that. So tell us, what is working well in your business right now?
Right now, a lot of it is just the connection, right? Because going through divorce, like most women are just like, first of all, am I going to actually take this leap, right? Am I going to do this? Because it's scary. They're like, well, what if? Like, what's the? I don't know what's out there. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary as hell. And so it's just really the connection and letting women know, like, look, you're not alone. Like, you're not the only one who's gone through this. There's hundreds of us that have been through this, unfortunately. And we learn from our experiences and from our past, and share the information that we know helped us. Maybe it doesn't connect with somebody, but there's somebody out there that will connect with, right? So just really connecting and letting people know that this is a safe space. Like, it's okay to share whatever it is. I think that's part of what makes me unique is being in the healthcare system for so long. I've seen and heard of a lot of things. Nothing shocks me, right? So I think that's kind of unique to my story, that it's a safe space, and whatever you're comfortable sharing, I'm comfortable being there with you.
So let me ask you, Rochelle, are you mainly working with one-on-one, or are you doing more group coaching?
Right now I'm doing one-on-one. I have been kind of playing around with the idea of trying to do some group, not necessarily a coaching, but more of like some healing sessions. So kind of playing around with that idea.
Yeah, I mean, as many people know that are following me, know that I've been in the divorce space, have another podcast called Divorcing Strong. And I have oftentimes talked to a lot of the coaches about creating these communities of support. Because, sometimes all you need to hear is that you're not alone. Right. And when you come together and nowadays with Zoom, you can do that, right? Yes. And that's the whole point of this podcast, is being able to show people that, like, look, if you're passionate about something, there's a million different ways to craft your business so that it's a win for them and a win for you. And that is a big part of it. And people don't know one-on-one, whether it's group coaching, whether it's retreats. A lot of people do healing retreats. We have had a lot of experience in doing those as well. But what would be kind of like, what is one of your greatest successes in your business, Ben?
I think just when I work with women and you kind of get that aha moment per se. In the beginning, it's really kind of just cracking the shell and trying to get down to it. And then by the end of the sessions, or by the end of, the 12 weeks or 3 months that we do together, you can really see them transitioning. They're coming out of their shell. They're okay, with setting those boundaries. They're recognizing the red flags, but they also know that, I'm not perfect. I'm probably going to slip backwards, and that's okay. But it's having those tools to be able to recognize I am slipping backwards. What do I do to navigate that so I can continue to move forward?
What do you think your superpower is?
I think my superpower is probably authenticity, boundary setting specifically. Before my divorce, like, people walked all over me, obviously, but and I've really come a long way in that, especially like in my profession, because healthcare can be a hot mess. And just really being okay with saying, I'm not comfortable with that, or no, that's not going to work for me, or let's talk about that. So, we both are feel comfortable in this situation.
Well, first of all, let me say, with you saying that you struggled with boundaries before, I can tell you the type of person that you are. You're very loving and kind and generous with your time. And and we can do that with boundaries. I think out of, all the time that I've coached and when I've was doing a lot of seminar stuff like that and workshops, it was always the boundaries that women were like, how do we set boundaries and not feel guilty in doing that?
Yeah.
And I think that's what you said. I mean, but when people struggle with that, I know that they're very loving people. They just need to be able to, here's my boundary and this is how I'm going to stick to it, and have the reinforcement like a coach or someone behind you to say, no, hold on, hold that line.
Yeah. It's the impotent people that you just, you feel for people and you're like, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings and I want everyone to love me. But at the same time, when you do set those boundaries and someone doesn't like them, that's probably a sign to you that that person is not going to treat you with respect and they may not love you back. Right. And working through that. And it is hard, I've had to set a boundary with my son personally.
Yeah.
We just don't have that relationship anymore. And someday I know he'll come back, but right now I have to be okay with his decision and me work through that personally.
Yeah. And I think estrangement is kind of a big thing right now with kids that, for whatever reason. And I've been doing a lot of research on that as well, because, we're dealing with that case that is that on another level as well. And it's just, it's tough. It's tough because we do need to make decisions, and can we do it and still stay in a good place and love towards that person? Mm-hmm. That's the key, is can we keep our heart still soft and see them as real people, even though they may not be in our space right now, and still hold that space for them to come back when they want. So
I think too, what's coming up for me is that, for a lot of people, divorce, estrangement, all these things bring up shame. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important to have the community, have the resource, I think that community resources, coaching can really help you understand that what I consider to be a very useless emotion, except for learning from. Mm-hmm. So I think you're doing very important work out there. And I'm curious, what would make this year your best year yet?
I think honestly, just knowing that I have been able, that one, people trust me to be in their space, and to guide them through something that's really hard. And I think really just seeing women be able to move from that position of being stuck and, oh my gosh, I don't know what's next. And do I need to take this step? What do I do? To being able to be your professional self, to not only honor that at work, but also honor yourself at home, so that you can feel comfortable in yourself to make decisions for yourself that feel good, but also so that you can understand patterns that from the past to be able to also move forward in relationships and love.
And maybe find that silliness again.
I know. Seriously. So silly. That we started off with. I was just thinking the same thing. I was rewriting one of my books many years ago, and I was sitting at a park, and these kids were just playing, and they were dirty, and they were like in the sand and water, and I'm like, when did we stop playing? Mm. And so I think that is one thing I think that's just really important for us too, and maybe is getting to that playful place where we can feel joy again. And that's really what I love that you take people on that process. It sounds like is that being able to face it, see it, release it, move on, so that you can open up a new chapter in your life. Yeah. And I always love to say in my podcast is that there's this beautiful life on the other side of that trauma. And it depends on how you choose to handle it. And I truly believe that, because if I can bring more hope to people, then they can end up moving into a new chapter with strength and empowerment, like your company.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
Okay. So, and the last question we'd love to ask in this, thank you Thank you, co-host.
It's okay.
Now we're
I'm
like
here for you.
together. We're being, but our last question that we love to ask people is, what does passion to payday mean to you?
Passion to payday for me means, I think it's pretty plain and simple, honestly. You come into this space with a passion, you understand or you learn how to narrow that down into your specific niche, and to the people that you really want to speak to. And when you have that passion about something you're doing, it becomes more of a fun day that then turns into a payday and something you enjoy doing every single day.
Oh man, we may have to make that a Becky and Heather original really
I
soon.
know. I grew up at a summer camp for kids, and I always say, if we're not having fun, we're not doing it right. So turn your fun day into a payday.
Oh,
yeah.
We're gonna have to.
I like that
We're
one.
gonna have to use that one.
That's a good one. Thank you for that, Rochelle. We appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Actually, we should ask your permission to do that because we don't just steal things.
No, we don't.
Right.
We would have reached out.
Just tag me.
There we go. Just tag you.
We'll make the short and tag you on it so that you could go. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Rochelle, for taking time out of your day, and thank you for allowing us to be silly and be ourselves. Because, I'm sure that when you work with people, that's exactly how you do it. Because that is, that's where real healing happens, is when people can step back into who their true self is. Yeah. And we appreciate that very much. Okay, we wanted to remind you also, go to her website if you'd like to contact her, work with her, be a part of
uniquelyempower.com. Uniquelyempower.com. I love it.
.com. Also, we have a free masterclass here in the next, we've got a couple hours, I think, for the free masterclass. I think it's over there or over there, wherever the QR code is.
Hard to say.
We would love to have you join us. We are going to be talking specifically about how to take your passion into your payday. How do we transition you into that and getting paid well for what you do? Because it matters. It matters. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Passion to Payday, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Passion to Payday podcast.
If you're overwhelmed, spinning your wheels, and not seeing the income you want, there's a good chance you're undercharging for what you do.
We're going to change that. So join us live at our upcoming virtual event, May 13th through 15th, where together we'll build your high ticket offer so your passion finally pays you back.
Save your spot today,
because your passion deserves a payday.